Hello golfers, Jess Frank coming to you from the Jess Frank Golf Academy YouTube channel. Today I'm going to teach you to begin with the end in mind. It's something that if you know where you're going, it's going to be able to help you play better golf, hit the ball more solid, and enjoy the game a heck of a lot more. So what do I mean by begin with the end in mind? So I do a lot of drills with my students working on their finish to begin with. A lot of people overlook the finish because they think, oh, the ball's gone, you already hit it, you already put the information in the back of the ball. But this is something that is hugely important because I see a lot of people when they swing, their finish is kind of, it's not controlled, it's kind of all over the place. It's spinning, their arms are breaking down, their legs moving too much, their hips are moving everywhere, and so they're off balance. So when you do this, when you begin with the end in mind, what I always like doing is say, okay, if you had the perfect finish, where would you want to finish? So for me, is that as I swing through, I'd want to finish with my weight on my front, with my arms relatively straight, with my hips tucked, with my toe on the ground. I'd have my 90-90-90. As you guys know, I do a lot of videos on that, the 90-90-90. So that would be my finish position. I want to go from setup, okay, to finish. And if I do that, I can hold my finish, I can work on my tilt, I can see that my arms are straight, okay, I have my tucked hips, I have my legs straight, and that's my finish position. So now I start to build in a little bigger backswing, or a little bit of a backswing I should say. So I start taking the ball back, or taking the club back a little bit, and I go to the finish. So I go from here, take it back from, let's say P1's a setup, P2, and I'm going to P8. So you can see here as I look at the club face is in a good position, my arms are in a good position, I have balance, my arms are connected to my body, so that's super important. As I go through, you can see where my hands and arms are here, so I haven't flipped my hands and arms, I haven't tried to help the ball up in the air, and so I start with the end in mind. That's something that's going to help you hit the ball more solid, hit the ball better, and I get immediate results. Like this is something that if you want immediate results and change your ball striking, this is great for any level of player. This is great for the just the weekend warrior, mid-level handicap, somebody who's beginning the game, anybody who wants to get better at their game, this will help them for sure. And so what I like to do is I put a ball on a small tee here, and I start with this here. I start with this little swing, so I get myself set up from here. So I can see where I finish now is that I start to really work on this. When I finish, I got my tilt, got my legs straight, hips tucked, I'm tilted. So if I go forward here, you can see I have my tilt, my shoulders are tilted, my legs, my hips, shoulders, knees, my eyes are on a tilt. So I'm not ever out of control. One of the best golfers, if you want to watch a golfer on the PGA Tour who's really good at this, look at Tommy Fleetwood. On the girls tour, on the LPGA Tour, look at Lydia Ko. Look at how she just won this tournament, and the majority of her finishes are finished like this. Begin with the end in mind. So here we go. So we're going to take a little shot. Begin with the end in mind. You can see when I finish now, I'm in a good stable position. My arms haven't flexed, my wrists haven't flexed, my elbows haven't come apart. So I'm working on all the fundamentals of weight forward, tucking the hips, arms straight, tilt. So hands in. So I'm working on the circle, so you can see where my hands and club are moving around my body now. So it's a really great drill for you to do and a great swinging motion for you to do. So you're better off going to the range, the driving range, or at home and doing this for 10-15 minutes a night. Work on it, put the video camera on, make sure you watch yourself do this. This is so important. So I'll even do one here down the line as I go to begin the end and finish. So you can see how I turn through really nice. So you can see that really great position here, super important. Beginning with the end in mind, okay? So I'll do that again, little chip, dead straight, You can see as I go through the ball how straight my arms are. They're not coming apart. They're not looking like I'm not flipping my hands here. My hips are not, are not out of sequence. So this is hugely important. So here's the drill I like to use for beginning with the end in mind. I put the club up in front of me, okay, right like this, and I turn forward. I still have a little tilt with my right shoulder here. So I go ahead, I tilt to the right, turn to the left, and you can see where my arms are here. So I hold it up here, tilt to the right, turn to the left. So when I do this, watch when I tilt to the right, you can see my lower body move forward. So this is beginning with the end in mind, forward here. So now when I go down to the ball, I'm going to get into that same position here. And you can see that I'm doing this deliberately. I'm not hitting ball after ball after ball like I see so many people do. They don't get any better, they don't lower their scores. If you want to lower your scores and you want to play better golf, this is the way to do it. This will help you immediately. And you'll see it just within the first couple of days by doing these little motions here. So now let's say I want to take the club back a little farther, right? So instead of going just from P1 to P2, I'm going to go back to almost P3 here, but I'm going to go finish with the end in mind. So I'm going to go from P3 to P9, begin with the end in mind, hit that ball really solid, really straight, working on all the fundamentals that are going to help you become a better ball striker. You know, if I look at videos all the time of the best players in the world, what are they doing? What makes them great, okay? Well, first of all, they make really good contact every time. They hit the ball super solid. They hit the ground in the same spot every time with the irons, and they make solid contact with the driver. They hit it out of the center of the face. So how do they learn that, right? So I go back to when I started golf when I was about 6, 7 years old, went through the junior program. What did I do all the time? I putted and I chipped. The pros only let us putt and chip. So what were they doing was they were building solid contact and hitting the ball every time. So that way I don't miss it, I don't top it, I don't, I'm hitting the ball pretty much in the center of the golf club a lot. So by doing this, by understanding the shorter swings, by understanding beginning with the end in mind here. So a lot of misconceptions about the follow through, that the ball's gone, that you don't need to control your follow through. Huge misconception of the golf game. So, I see most people when they swing, their arms are collapsing, their club's wrapped around their shoulder, their arms are bent. And so if you look at the best players, they do not look like that. So begin with the end in mind. So here's where I want to finish every single time. Arms are connected to the sides of the body, arms are straight. So I could hold this position. I could hold that position for a long time. I guarantee you, try to do that. Try to hold that finish. Begin with the end in mind, hold the finish, get on balance, and this is going to help you. It's going to help you immensely. So again, you could start with the small swings first. You don't even have to go to with the shaft vertical over here. You could say, okay, I'm just starting out. My end is going to be shaft parallel to the ground, or P8 here. So my arms are attached to the side. There's my P8. So that would be my ending. I would say that's awesome for beginner golfers. Newer golfers, people are struggling with their golf swing. Even, again, I know a lot of you out there are shooting, probably in the 90s, maybe 100s, and so you want to hit the ball more solid. If you do the shorter swing, this P2 to P8, and hold the finish, I do this a lot with people. So you can see is that as I'm coming through, you can see how the club's moving around my body. This is going to allow you to swing on the arc, hit the ball solid, and you can see when I finish, most people who I show this to, it's very difficult for them to do because they're trying to make this big full finish because they've been told, well, you got to make this big full finish, and the club's not in control and your arms are breaking down, you're not hitting the ball solid. It's something that I know can help your game. So let's work with beginning with the end in mind. Even on a small shot, here, like this. Even with putting, I remember I saw Greg Norman did a phenomenal putting drill where he put a 2x4 right in front, about 6 inches in front of the ball, and he made a little putt and he stuck the finish. He held that finish there. Greg Norman was a pretty good putter. So I would say, again, begin with the end in mind, work on the small stuff, chip the ball out there. You know, you can be, you know, your end right now, if you want, could be right in front of your, you know, with the club head as far away from the left shoulder as possible. That could be your end. So do what makes sense, progress slowly, keep working on it, do it daily, and that will help you. Again, my name is Jess Frank. I'm a PGA teaching professional. I've been teaching this game for over 20 years. Love helping you guys get better at the game. Hopefully, if you really enjoy this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, leave a comment. Again, thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.